This isn't Goosebumps. All boys and girls, I guess it's Fright time. Our story begins with Scott. He's in a museum with his friend and his dad. His dad decided to make the animation of a new attraction at the museum. It's a little mummy named Loki. He's a little baby boy. Anyways, a creepy janitor ghost scares Scott and Martin. They're spooked now. Anyway, Scott is now listening to Dr. Freddy on the radio. But then he hears Loki's voice talking to him. Whoa, this is scary. Anyways, so now he's spooked because the mummy boy is chasing him. He goes to this, video game convention, and he tries out the VR game. But guess what? The mummy is in there, and he gets freaked out. He starts to run, but everyone's like, what the fuck is this kid doing? And so they incapacitate him, and then he gets escorted out of the place. Now he's like, you know what, fuck that guy. I want him dead now. So he does so. He gets a tiny VR headset and hooks it up to his computer, where he encounters Loki once again. He's like, bitch, you gon' die. And he's like, no, I ain't. And then they fight. And then at the end of the thing, Scott comes back and he's like, you know what? I think from now on, I'm gonna go outside now. Our story begins with Ken and his brother Pete. They're visiting their Uncle Jonah's private island. They meet their cousin, Ronnie. And Ken is like, I don't like Ronnie. Anyway, so they watch TV on this old TV set, and Ken sees this weird pirate guy on the TV. He's like, hey guys, you see the weird pirate? And they're like, no, what the fuck are you talking about, kid? Anyways, that night, his brother, Pete, that is, he's climbing up a fucking lighthouse. And Ken does not approve. He's like, get the fuck down, Pete. And then Pete tries to jump, and he's like, that's not what I meant, and he saves him. Anyways, so the next day, guess what? Pete doesn't remember shit. So they watch the TV again for some reason. The pirate is there again, looking at Ronnie. And then that night, Ronnie almost jumps off a cliff. Wonderful. The next day, Uncle Jonah tells them the story of Monster Bill the pirate, who was apparently a big boy who lived on the island. He liked to steal things. Yay. Anyway, so Ken thinks that the TV pirate is Monster Bill. And him and Ronnie see a cave, so they go to explore it. They're looking around, they get lost. And then they see some skeletons and freak the fuck out. They get lost even more, and they see Monster Bill. They are now really fucking spooked, so they run. They run the fuck out of there, and they find their way out. And guess what? He doesn't follow them. Ken knows that Monster Bill is a Monster Bill who is alive and real. Yeah. Anyways, they get back, and Uncle Jonah tells them the story of how Grandpa Jonah, or like great-great-great-great-grandpa Jonah, or something like that, how he defeated Monster Bill by throwing sand in his eyes and throwing him in the fucking water to die. Anyways, it was a fun old time, apparently, because Ken's like, yep, Monster Bill wants to kill me now. Anyways, so they watch TV again. Ken knows what to do, and he gets hypnotized. Whoa, that night, Monster Bill decides to drown him. But guess what? It doesn't work, because Ronnie's there to stop him. But that doesn't work because Ronnie's also hypnotized. But then Ken throws some salt water into Monster Bill's eyes, and Monster Bill fucking dies. Again. After that, they go back and they enjoy the rest of their vacation. Not really caring about the fact that Monster Bill may or may not come back again. Our story begins with Marta Stoner. Her and her two friends Jeremy and TH are going on a field trip to a traveling wax museum. And it's the next day. But this isn't important. They just talk about stories they've heard of spooky wax museums. Like this one story that Marta's dad told her, where two teens went into a wax festival at a carnival. And when they came out, well, boy howdy, they were fucking wax sculptures, and they fucking melted. Whoa, that is fucking horrifying, apparently. And that night, she has a bad dream about becoming a wax figure. Spooky. The next day, they go to the wax museum, but then they get separated from their group. A wax gangster decides, hey, you know what, I got nothing to better do. And he starts to chase them. They run into wax versions of John Wilkes Booth, then Genghis Khan, then Lizzie Borden, and then they encounter a couple cowboys with fucking guns. Marta's like, fuck this shit, and she unplugs the AC and all the figures start to melt. They start to go out, but then guess what? It's Dr. fucking Gore. He owns the place. He's like, listen here, you little fucks. You're gonna give me your fucking whatever it is that I need, because I need to make my special serum that will make the wax figures come to life. And they're like, fuck you. And then he slips in some wax, gets covered in the wax, and then they run away. Then the police come the very next day, but guess what? The museum's gone already. They're like, well, fuck, I guess he's never gonna get caught. But then in the car, their teacher's like, hey, guess what? Here's some wax. Wow, that's spooky, man. That's fucking horrifying. Fucking wax.